Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Good news for hosts of royal podcasts who are always on the lookout for narrative-driving events. A revelatory new biography about Kate Middleton is set to be published in the coming months, titled Catherine, the Princess of Wales, the Biography. The book will delve into the story of how the Princess of Wales met and fell in love with Prince William. Written by New York Times best-selling author and veteran royal correspondent Robert Jobson, the biography is available for pre-order now and will be released on August 1st. Drawing on his extensive connections with the royal household and numerous conversations with both on and off the record sources, Jobson promises to shed new light on Kate's life and the events that have shaped her. The book has been billed as the revelatory biography of the year. Denise Welch of TV's Loose Women believes palace officials mandated that Kate had to be the people's princess, and because of this, there was no room for Meghan. I think there was racism involved in it. Of course there was, like when Princess Diana was with Dodi Fayed. The same sort of thing. They don't want it. I'm not saying that this is the actual family. I'm saying the people who look after the royal family, the men in grey suits and everything, they probably didn't like this at all. Welch also dismissed the notion that Americans don't like Meghan and Harry. The press made out that you guys don't love them, and I know from being here that you guys do love them. They're not hurting anybody. They've got two beautiful children, and they're not harming everybody. I get so angry because I'm so in a minority at home. It's crazy. Prince Harry is trying to go at it alone and shows no intention of becoming a working royal again, according to GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker. When asked if the recent health issues of senior royals might have influenced Prince Harry to adopt a more responsible role, Walker dismissed the idea, saying, "I think he is pretty happy in California from the messages we are getting from him, but clearly it is a huge frustration. I think perhaps for those royal watchers and those royal fans who think that what could have been if he stayed as a working member and how much he could have perhaps helped. I think over the last few years, it's been pretty clear that Prince Harry has been pretty angry and frustrated with the situation he's ended up being in. There's been long periods of absence, I think, from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle." Meanwhile, don't expect Meghan to return to Suits, despite fans hoping she will appear in the reboot. Back in 2021, Meghan said she had no plans to do so, but left some wiggle room. Never say never. "I left Suits right after the 100th episode in 2018. I didn't think I'd ever be in the entertainment industry again. But the entire culture has changed. Streamers have changed things. The ability to create zeitgeist moments like we had in the 90s, where everyone would tune in at the same time for a show or gather for one moment. That doesn't happen anymore." Royal editor Kate Manzi warns that Harry and Meghan's children are at risk of becoming the forgotten royals. Manzi said, "You think of Charles talking about his grandchildren. The first thing you think of is the Waleses, because he doesn't have that connection to the Sussex grandchildren." A Reddit user has recently unearthed some of Meghan Markle's old Instagram posts, bringing joy to her fans. These posts date back to before the former Suits actress went public with her romance with Prince Harry in November 2016. Meghan Markle's old Instagram was a vibe. The Redditor captioned a collection of photos. One notable snap shows Meghan applying Christian Dior lipstick in a small mirror next to a coffee cup, and several shoes captioned, "Happy Valentine's Day, getting ready for another day of NYFW and sending all my love." Another photo features Meghan floating in the ocean in Negril, Jamaica, with the caption, "A day without laughter is a day wasted. Charlie Chaplin." She then directed her followers to her lifestyle website, The Tig, for more photos of her trip. One social media user missed the authentic content she used to share, commenting, "I really miss when Instagram was for sharing and self-expression, not shilling crap." Palace Intrigue will be right back. When it comes to royal protocol, the monarchy adheres to a variety of rules that range from etiquette-based traditions to stringent safety measures. These rules are in place to ensure both decorum and the well-being of the royal family members. For instance, royal women are expected to walk down the stairs in a specific manner. Certain family members are required to curtsy to others based on their rank. However, some protocols are enforced for safety reasons, especially during international trips. Royals are advised against eating certain foods to avoid the risk of food poisoning, and senior members often travel with bags of their blood type for emergency situations. As some of the youngest members of the royal family, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, will soon have to adapt to these roles and protocols. For Prince George, who is second in line to the British throne, one significant protocol relates to how he travels. Traditionally, two heirs to the throne are not permitted to fly on the same plane to protect the line of succession. While Prince William and Kate Middleton have historically travelled together with their 3 children, this practice is expected to change for Prince George in the near future. During an episode of a Right Royal podcast, Graham Laurie, a former royal pilot for King Charles, shared that his travel protocol is likely to come into effect for Prince George by 2025, upon his 12th birthday. Prince George may be required to fly separately from his family to adhere to this long-standing tradition. Laurie noted that Prince William followed the same rule when he turned 12 in 94. He explained, "Interestingly, we flew all 4, the Prince, the Princess, Prince William and Prince Harry, up until Prince William was 12 years old. After that, he had to have a separate aircraft, and we could only fly all 4 together when they were young and with written permission from Her Majesty. When William became 12, he would fly normally in a 125 from Northolt, and we would fly the 146 out with the other 3 on." This change will signify Prince George's growing responsibilities and adherence to the safety protocols that come with his future role as a senior member of the royal family. Brits are being urged to keep a close eye on their banknotes after a new King Charles III £10 note sold for a staggering £17,000 at auction. The charity auction held by Spink & Son on behalf of the Bank of England showcased 262 lots of the new £10 notes featuring the face of King Charles III. These newly released banknotes, the first to feature a sovereign other than Queen Elizabeth II, hit circulation in June and will coexist with the old notes bearing the late Queen's image. According to the Royal Household's guidelines, the new notes will only be printed to replace worn-out ones and to meet any overall increase in demand. Certain serial numbers on the new notes hold particular value for collectors, with the lowest serial numbers being the most coveted. In April, the Bank of England disclosed the lowest serial numbers for each denomination of the new King Charles notes. For example, keep an eye out for the £5 note with the serial number CA01000000, although that specific note is believed to be in the possession of the King himself. At the auction, a £10 note with the serial number HB01000002 sparked a bidding war, eventually selling for £17,000. Arnis Savickas, head of banknotes at Spink & Son, explained to the Mirror, "Depending on the serial number of the note, it's reasonable to assume that the lowest serial number of a £5 could fetch between £250 to £500, while £10 and £20 notes could go for £500 and £1,000 respectively. A £50 then could go for several £1,000s. It's not impossible that outside of the auction, someone could find notes with a serial number within the first million. Outside of the auction, someone could potentially find a note with a serial number as low as 6 figures. You could probably get one with 100,000. So next time you handle your cash, take a moment to check those serial numbers, so you might be holding a small fortune in your hands." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and write us a review or leave some stars if you're enjoying the show. And don't forget, we have merch and subscriptions available to all of you. And it helps us all behind the scenes here, and we really appreciate your support for the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.